Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Hope everything is going well. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Today we have eye candy. We're going to be looking at some things that have come from 5 years of working on the floor at Harlan J Berk. So, in order to do that, we have to have somebody here, and you can see him here on the screen. Mike Nottleman, how you doing, sir? What's going on?
Good. I'm awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to this. I've had a little bit of a precursor to some of these images, and I'm going, Mama.
Well, okay, so just so everybody else knows, it's like, every once in a while I have an idea of something that'd be fun. And so this weekend is kind of a my gift to Frosty of fun stuff. So today I'm coming on
Or
and
to some of
I,
these
I just
images, and I'm
figured
going,
I'd show you some things that have crossed my desk. I haven't bought them all, I haven't sold them all, but they've all come across my desk. And tomorrow I'm going to be joined by my partner in crime, Russ. And when you get the two of us together, it's like it's an enthusiasm overload. It's what it really gets to. So, if you like my enthusiasm for this, you'll understand why we have so much fun at work. I also want to make a really cheap, shameless plug. Tonight is the return of the Coin Show podcast.
dun dun
So if you are
dun.
inclined, go to youtube.com slash coin show or on Facebook. We're going to be on Instagram this year. Um, so we are. Oh, and I think we're even taking the talks. I'm not sure though. But yeah, any place you get your podcasts, or you can watch it as a video show on YouTube. That starts tonight for a brand new season, and me and Matt can't wait to get back. So that shameless plug out of the way. Um, I decided to send Frosty a folder full of just these are pictures of stuff that's crossed my desk because I mean, when you see this kind of stuff, you may never see it again. So you're going to take pictures. So, with that said, I am going to let Frosty choose a picture at random from this folder. And then I'm going to tell the story behind the picture or tell you guys what about it. Ask questions. If you have any questions about the coins at all, that's the whole idea of this exercise is to just go in every direction. It doesn't have to be focused. I can handle that part.
That's because Mike isn't normally focused. So,
Right. Well, squirrel. So I I I just think it's funny because your reaction to the folder was pretty good.
well, yeah. And again, I've done stories on a lot of these coins, knowing that I'll never ever see them. Um, so looking at some of these, going, oh my, like. And, the first one that I'll show, I just queued this up with you guys. This I love this piece.
Yes.
This is this is a fabulous piece. Now you guys know I like Christian Gobrek, and you guys know I love my ships, and this is a fabulous piece. And what's the backstory on this one, Mike?
Okay. So this was four coins that were brought up together from the SS Republic. We have several of them that are slabbed by NGC. It was a ship that went down after what did it go down like 1870 or something like that.
Yeah,
But it had all of these seated halves on it, and these four were all made at the New Orleans Mint in 1861. But they were made after June 1st, and June 1st was when Louisiana joined the Confederacy. So these were made by the Confederate States of America, and you can tell them by the differing die cracks that appear. So um, these coins have varying shipwreck damage. So some of them are really nice looking until you really look at the surfaces, and then some of them are just kind of average looking until you look at the surfaces. But they're all shipwreck damaged, and This set in particular might be the best of the coins that they had that came from the CSA. It has all four die varieties in it. And the one at the far left is the variety that was used to strike the four Confederate halves that were actually done. And it's identified there's a crack that runs from her nose to the rim. It's like her nose is being struck by lightning.
Yeah, really, really cool. So here is, sorry, folks. Here is the SS Republic. It did sink in 1853 or 1865, excuse me, um, off of the East Coast due to hurricanes. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Georgia um, where it sunk. The Excuse me, I think it was off Georgia. Um, but anyway, there was something like three or $400,000 in something, or silver and gold, and everybody on board died. There were 80, 90 passengers, something like that. So I have the photo. We did a talk about this because I have a silver coin from this. But yeah, neat story. So, but man,
Yeah, it was a great leadoff hitter. We bought this probably a month ago, and it's still for sale. We have some other coins from the shipwreck, which are singles. But NGC decided that this was important enough to put together as a set, and that's why the multi-holder and the grouping.
what would something like this set somebody back if they were looking to do this?
We have it priced currently at $9,000.
Which is pretty much where I would expect it to be. But and we talked a little bit about this. I guessed that it was going to be about 8, so I was pretty close in
Yeah,
my estimation. But yeah, this is pretty neat stuff, folks. Like these are really cool, and the fact that you get all four different die pairs, it's pretty neat.
yeah. I think the other thing about this one is the condition of the four coins. They're all pretty coins. They're all very very um was appealing.
And there's the reverse side of it. Let me make
And
it.
yes, Luther, money, money. Yes, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, there's some other stuff in here, and I'll continue to try to bring up some really good ones. There's so much eye candy here, folks.
Well, that's the
Insane.
point. Is there's enough there that you're not going to get to all of it. You're
Yeah.
not even going to get close. So it's like just pick your favorites, and we'll kind of go through them. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. And I'm always adding pictures to the file.
A lot of this stuff is stuff that a lot of coin collectors may never see.
Right. Well, that's why I took pictures of it. This
Yeah,
stuff I may never
absolutely.
see again. I am purely appreciative of the fact that I am watching some stuff that is truly rare. That goes through a shop. And when you get an opportunity to see it, you should sit, you should look at it if you can. And if you can't, take pictures. And the average iPhone is really great.
Yeah.
And because iPhones are so good, you get pictures like this. Now this is
Now I know a little bit about this story because you guys talked about it on the Coin Show podcast.
yes.
But why don't you enlighten people? This is a hell of a delivery for a Tuesday morning.
Well, okay, so people ask us, it's like, do you buy gold? Do you sell? Yes, we buy and sell gold. This is a purchase. This is not a typical purchase. This is a purchase. This is a purchase that was worthy of taking pictures. So think about that for a second. If you look really closely, every single one of those is a kilobar of gold.
Not just a kilo of amp
Gold.
Swiss,
Yeah.
which is they do about 27%. If you guys look at gold refining, across the globe, Ham Swiss does about 27 to 28% of all refining for the world. So they have a pretty massive operation, and their quality is extremely high. They always have good products. They're very collectible. And when I saw this at the Coin Show podcast, I was like, "Holy, yeah!"
Okay, so just for scale, a kilo bar is about the size of a Hershey bar. I think that's a pretty good scale for it because it really is that small, but it's really dense and it's really heavy. It's 2.2 pounds.
It weighs about the
And
size of
so,
5 bricks.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, this is a lot. This is $4 million worth of gold. And it's just so, how do you do this? Because who has $4 million that they could just, not my boss. Um, a guy came to us, and we're down in the financial district of Chicago, right in the loop. And where I live right now, we have sirens. And because we're down there, we're convenient to a lot of people. The people at Chase and other banks are closing safe deposit boxes all over the place. And so people are kind of scrambling to either liquidate stuff that's in there, move it, because they don't want to store it at home because it is literally that valuable. This gentleman, that was his case. This came from a single safe deposit box. I have an idea that it's not the only one he has. And so he literally wanted just to liquidate it and get rid of it. So we hired an armed guard, a cop, and they literally walked a block and a half with 3 guys, and two of them carrying. And they walked a block and a half into our shop, walked into the back room, signed the papers. Wire was sent, and he left. 5 minutes later, after we're done taking all these pictures, it was on an armored car on its way to a refinery. We never really owned it. It was in our possession for about 20 minutes. But if you could make 0.5%, you know, that's still a pretty decent payday for 20 minutes work.
Well, and that's the thing about coin shops that a lot of people don't think about. Yeah, you guys get some pretty insane stuff come through. However, for the most part, you guys are dealing in volume. And so um, the markups are not what people think they are, right? There's not thousands of
Nowhere
dollars of
near.
markup
And
and
the
stuff like
rent
that.
is
Yeah.
high.
And but you guys deal in volumes. And one thing, and I've said this, one reason I told you guys that your shop has an open door to my channel is that number one, the history of your shop has volumes. Um, but there's just
It's
little
the
things that,
oldest coin shop in the United States.
yeah, and still going, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you guys
No, I
deal
mean
in
the shop
volume.
itself, though. It's the oldest shop in the United States.
Now, here's the thing. So, how old is Harlan J Berk?
Harlan is 83 years old. He comes to work every single day and he waits on customers. He loves talking to people.
That tells you something about the man,
Yeah.
right? It
No,
tells
he's
you
a little
something.
crazy too, but that's beside the point.
Well, but I
His
mean,
son
look at his
Aaron,
staff. I mean,
his
y'all are
son
crazy
Aaron
too.
runs the business and has for years now. What a lot of people don't understand is there's another ancient coin dealer, fairly well known, named Shanna Schmidt,
The
who runs
daughter?
Shanna Schmidt Numismatics. That's his sister. That's Harlan's daughter.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it really is a family business, is what they do. And Aaron has taken the company a little bit different direction than his father. It's a really small company. We only have 15 employees tops, and and it was 10 at one point. It's just a really small place, and so everybody is very kind of specialized in what they do and siloed and stuff like that. And then you have the U.S. Coin Shop downstairs, where you have to really be ready for just about anything. And, my favorite line to people is that, I can tell you pretty much just about anything. And if I don't know something, I'll make it up.
Now, when
Love
we
that.
talk about literally everything passes through the doors, if you guys have seen Aaron's channel, if you haven't, please go check out
The
Coinman
Ancient
at
Coin
Coinman.
podcast with Aaron Berk. It's Aaron Berk on YouTube. We're just about ready to bust 350,000 subscribers.
Yeah, insane. And these little goodies come across. Want to talk about this little baby?
Well, as much as I can. So this is a Caesar, and to be honest with you, it's like, okay, the Ancient Coin podcast is a podcast where Aaron talks about ancient coins and I host it. The idea of it is that he's teaching me ancient coins over the process. And if you want to learn ancient coins, you go to our website at HJB.LTD.com and you can download the first episode and you start listening. He will teach you ancient coins along with me. And so I'm learning some. This one is a Caesar. It's gold. It was a treasury coin. And Caesars themselves, there's a set of 12 Caesars, is what a lot of really advanced collectors of ancient coins do. It's a very expensive set, and this is just that's one of them.
The knowledge you get from that, I love that coin right there. I think was on one of the first or one similar to that Ancient Coin podcasts. And they're beautiful, and it's amazing that the same coin can have different artwork because there was different engravers.
Yeah, so this one actually has two faces. The opposite side of it also has a face on it.
Yeah, this is
And I should remember who it is, and I can't. I'm still learning.
Oh
Well,
man,
that's good.
I'm always amazed by
That's
the
the other
knowledge
side.
that Aaron has. Fabulous.
Well, nobody can know everything, right? So Aaron has okay, and this is like I'm gonna suspend humble for a minute. Aaron has assembled a team of people that are experts in what they do. So it's like he has a world coin expert. He has several ancient coin experts downstairs in our shop. He has me on the counter. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, U.S. numismatist. We have Russ Bega, who is an expert in seated liberty and early Americana,
Who will be here
and
tomorrow?
Exonumia. And we have Manny Martinez, and Manny deals with our Spanish-speaking customers, and is really generally knowledgeable about numismatics. I mean, just in general. And it's like every single person that works there was brought there. We didn't walk in and apply; we were all brought there. And Aaron has assembled this just insane group of people, and literally an insane group of people. And we just have fun all day, and we make some money.
Let's go through here and find some neat, and there are some amazing pieces here. 1893 S Morgan.
Yes, 1893 S Morgan is the key to the Morgan dollar set. If you look, the Liberty picture that's two over is the die diagnostic on the T, because there's a scratch coming from it. And it's just a coin you don't see very often. It's really good to have a nice example of it where you can see all the detail.
Beauty
So
piece
that you
for
can
sure.
compare markers, and you can compare just how it looks, shapes and stuff, the numbers especially in the date.
Now I know this looks like it's
Position.
been I know this looks like it's been taken from whatever, but he's taken all of these photos himself. These are all coins that have passed through his hands at the shop. So
Well, they've either been taken by me or by Mike Prince, and Mike Prince is our guy upstairs that sells our. He's the guy that is responsible for selling a lot of this stuff. He's our super high end guy. He handles those kind of clients for the company. He's amazingly talented at what he does, and he handles this kind of stuff and brings a lot of it in. Me and Russ move some of it, but in the end, he ends up moving a lot of it.
yeah, very cool stuff. What let's see. Let's find another one. Does anybody have a coin that they want to see if there's um here because there was here's a fun one. Let's talk about this one. Sacagawea Special Strike.
Okay. This is one of my favorites to talk about because this actually resulted in me getting to interview Randy Teton, who was the model for the Sacagawea dollars.
Real
So
quick, hold on, Mike. Brian Supra, thank you so much for subscribing. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks for being.
there you go, Brian. So I was at Baltimore last year, and we were just doing some videos and stuff. And I walked over to James Sego's table. James Sego is the president of the PMG, and he's got a really good grading eye. And he had these Sacagawea dollars. He tends to deal in a little bit more modern stuff, and they were called VIP strikes. And I had never heard of it, so I asked him about it. We did a little short. You can go and you can find it on YouTube, and he talks about it. Well, one of Randy Teton's friends saw that and said, Randy, they're talking about you. And so she went to our Facebook page, the Coin Show Podcast Facebook page, and she posted, that she remembered striking these and all this other kind of stuff. And so, I reached out to her. I slid into the DMs, and I met. She's a really nice lady. She's very proud. She's I don't think she's been treated absolutely, the best by the U.S. Mint or by the process. But she also was part of something very historic, and that in and of itself is an accomplishment.
Yeah,
And
the
she
interview that you guys did with her was fabulous. A lot of great information, and you can kind of tell she's got that. Uh, she was unhappy with the way certain things were handled, but she's all about heritage, the history of
yes,
things, and had a lot of great things to say about Glenna Goodacre.
yes, yeah. I mean, she's a really nice lady, and she was a treat. I would love to have her back on anytime, you know. And she's very active and somewhat vocal.
Somewhat.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being with advocating for yourself.
Yep. So this is that VIP strike, and then there's another one in here that's pretty cool, and that's the one that is the very special one that was given to Glenna Goodacre herself. Where is that one?
Oh no! Oh well, it was one of the ones that they paid her with. Glenna Goodacre got paid $5,000 for designing the Sacagawea dollar. And I'll tell you how smart this lady is. Glenna Goodacre asked to be paid in the new dollars. And the Mint did a special strike for her that were burnished, and they're different. And then she took them to, I want to say she took them to Annex? No, it was ICG. She
ICG.
took them to ICG, and ICG slabbed all 5,000 of them for her. And she sold them. and
Made bank.
they're they bank. They're really good. And then some of them have gone from that holder into like PCGS holders, which then they've had PCGS. This one in particular was one that was given to Glenna, and so when her estate got rid of it, or this before her estate got rid of it, when she decided to get rid of the coin, she signed it in a PCGS slab to help, hype the value of it.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff. And again, there's a lot of coins that the general public just may not be aware of. And the VIP strike was one of those until that interview with Randy, that I was like, I didn't even know there was a VIP strike. What in the world is that? And it caused me
Well,
to
and
go down
Randy
a little
didn't know
bit of
there
a
was a
rabbit
VIP strike from the Denver Mint. She didn't know about that. So that was two worlds colliding on that.
because she thought she should have got one from each, correct?
Well, I mean, I think she should have. She should have been invited to the ceremony. And if there wasn't a ceremony, yeah, she should have gotten at least one of the coins. I mean, she's the model for.
She's
I
the
will
only
say,
living person currently on a US coin, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to say. That's only happened a couple times in history.
yeah, and mostly on purpose. But she is, when you get down to it, she's not, because she's not Sacagawea. But I know what you're saying. Living model.
Okay, now this one, oh,
No, this is not the one with the defined tail feathers. So the one with the defined tail feathers was struck in '99, and it was struck from pattern dies, and that's why it's different.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
This one's
So
got a really fun story.
yeah, so Frank, before we get into that one, let me go back into the other. Um, the original one that had that kind of cross hatching pattern on the tail, they ended up not to do that because of there were issues with the die. There were a lot of die breaks and stuff. So there for other reasons as well, they stopped doing those. A lot of people think that the Cheerios dollar is only that cross hatching pattern, and that's not actually true. There were two of them, right? Two different styles, or were there three, Mike?
That I don't know the answer to. This is honestly the first time I've heard of it, but it makes sense
Yeah, so there were
because the
actually
fact of the matter is they will not authenticate one unless it's in the packaging, which says to me that there are several die pairs
there are several die
and
pairs.
common
Yeah.
die pairs with others.
Yeah, and so the one that they will do is the one with the cross hatching pattern. If you have that, they know those were specific for that, and they'll give you that Cheerios designation. Other than that, if it's not in the package, you won't get it. And so if for some reason anybody out there happens to have one, just by whatever means, don't ever take it out of that package. You destroy the value. Um, because again, there's multiple dies and I don't remember where that information, and I have more information on this. I've actually talked about it with her a couple times on different streams and in a video. And if you want to know more about that, we can get her back up and talk about it. Their Cheerios pennies in the original container worth anything? There were a number of them. They're worth a couple extra bucks, but they're not extremely valuable. I think like what, 15 bucks or something like that, Mike?
Well, the pennies are common. I mean, for look, you can find them on eBay and they sell, but if you came into me with it, I really wouldn't be interested.
Yeah, I mean, there were tons of them. I think there was a penny in almost every box.
No, there was a penny in every box.
Yeah.
And in every
So
2,000 boxes, there was a penny and a dollar.
Luther said he just got a slab one for 35. Yeah, I know they're not very expensive. But that's another one.
Actually, Luther
Again,
did really well because that coin's worth well more than 35 bucks.
yeah. So if you got one slab, then you did a good job. But if you have something like that, don't open the packaging. And again, you'll find other things in non-slabs, Redfield hoards, GSAs, when you find things in slabs, don't crack them out because the moment you crack it out, you totally ruin the provenance of that coin and you destroy the value. Now
And
with that, go ahead.
the original holders are becoming important enough to where the grading services are now making containers for them. PCGS has now started
Fact.
casing GSA coins. It's things like that.
Yeah, I actually have this, but this is a good example of what we're talking about when we're talking about making cases. So they will actually make cases. The slab goes in, and then they will put the certification on. So now this is one that's just been put in by somebody else, but this is actually one of the cases that they will actually put the certification. And this happens for like GSAs. This is not the exact one, but there are other ones like that's just that was. All right, let's go back to the coins.
And I want to tell anybody in the chat, if you've got questions, ask them. I mean, that's kind of the point of this is, this stuff you won't normally see. Yeah, there's stories to it and how we came about it, but there's also a lot to learn.
Before you say anything about this coin,
Yeah,
I
I was going
want
to
to
ask if
ask.
anybody knew what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Does anybody know what this is? As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, I know Paula would love this.
Oh,
This is
Paula
the
would be. Well, no, she would call it a die adjustment strike. I got you, Paula.
yeah, this is my mecca of error coins.
They're
I would
cool.
I would love to get one of these.
I'll tell you what. No, there's one that we have that you would just absolutely, absolutely just go nuts over. It's got over 20 coins in it.
Vote for Pedro says the coins are nice, but I'm just shocked Oregon Stacker's awake. Um nice. So come on, folks. He's like, yeah, I'm awake. I'm awake. You guys don't believe I get up early. For the most part, he doesn't. Anybody have any idea what this is? Yeah, it is a fabulous error.
I'll be right back.
Wendy, Frosty, have you seen Paula? She left a comment on the nickel. Have you seen the nickel? And I can't find more information. Should I grade it? I'm not sure, Wendy. I haven't been tracking that. I can follow up with her and ask her, but I'm not
I'm
sure.
back.
Okay, so Luther said that he thought that this was a double struck broad strike.
No.
And I want you to look at the shape. The shape itself gives it away. Shape itself gives
Although,
it
in all
away.
fairness, it's broken. And I've done the best job I could of reconstructing it.
Yeah. Absolutely fabulous.
Yes, Jackalope.
There you go. That's a die cap. And this is a phenomenal one. Yeah. This is a beauty piece. Tell us the story about this one, Mike.
So this is a coin that we bought. It was a really, really beautiful die cap with two really distinct strikes and two really distinct coins in it. Now, if you're unaware of how a die cap happens, it's when the planchet sticks to the hammer die. And so it comes up with it. Another planchet enters the chamber, and it comes down and it hits that one, and they stick together. And they kind of make this melded amalgamation of, depending on how many blanks go in before it stops. This was just two, or three if I'm not mistaken. And if you look, there's a crack that runs from 9 o'clock in all the way around. This is where our Lord and Master Harlan J Berk just couldn't leave it alone. He broke it. And then it was my responsibility to get the money that we had in it back out of it.
It's good to be the
Which I
king,
was
though.
successful at. We did not lose money on this coin. And it was, I think, one of the very first times I really impressed Aaron.
It's definitely a beautiful piece. This is, again, folks, when you're talking about this, the way this actually happens is that when the die comes down and strikes the coin, there's something that happens that causes this coin to adhere to the die itself. And so it would normally eject the coin, and the next planche it would come in, and of course it would strike. Well, what happens in this case is that it never leaves the surface of the die, and that metal eventually gets pushed out, up, and around the die, forming a cap. If you take a bottle cap, and I'm actually going to open my water and just show you why they call it this. I just have my little water bottle cap here, but you can see that it's blackish. I had a white. Um, but you can see that there's a hole there. And what happens is that dye is sitting in there. So kind of like here. So let's say that this, which is dye, and that is sitting in there, and it keeps breaking. As it does, that metal's being pushed up over the side here. Eventually, it will break, shatter, or fall off. Very rarely do they fall off in a beautiful piece like this. So it's kind of a sad thing that it got broke.
Oh, it was a tragedy. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
and but this is a phenomenal example of a die cap. And again, if you want to know more about this, we can do. If you have questions or you want to know exactly how that's formed, we can get together and come up with some ideas and show you guys exactly how those arrows
And
were formed. But
the coins that are struck by the cap dies are pretty cool too.
Yeah. Well, some of them pile up. And
That's right.
I saw one of the biggest piles ever. And it literally looks like a top hat, but it's hollow in the middle. And it's got to be 20 coins, cents that are all stuck together. And it's I think Russ has a picture of that one. I don't. But it's probably the most amazing die cap I've ever seen.
yeah, but absolutely fabulous piece. And again, you can see here where that piece, this whole section broke off. But yeah, fabulous, fabulous piece. This was one of those, like I said, when I was going through this, I was like, oh.
Well, I'm going to put in a
what did you sell
request.
this for, if I may ask?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Oh, what did I sell it for? I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had $300 in it, and I got $350 out of it,
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
which was a miracle.
How in the world? How did a die cap that big escape the mint? There's always a lot of questions
Well,
regarding that.
there's a funny story I can tell you is actually true.
That came
So-
from the British Mint, anyways. That's a great British coin.
Yeah. But at the San Francisco Mint, there were these guys that were, what they would do is they would make stuff that they should be making, and then they would put it into the forklifts. And when the forklifts went out for maintenance, the maintenance company guys would take them out, and they had this racket going for a while, and it did eventually get busted.
You want to know what's funny, Mike? I have been doing thefts from the mint, and that story is actually supposed to be next week. So it was supposed to be this week's story, but we ended up doing this instead. So that's actually next week's story. The one,
Okay, so if you want to find out what really happened, you can listen in another week. There you go.
yeah, and so there's a lot of really interesting ways in which people have taken stuff from the mint. In the Hill of Shoes, last week we talked about taking the gold and sticking out in a hollow thing inside one of the artificial legs that a gentleman had. Uh,
Yes, yes.
there's a lot of really neat stories to be had about people having stole stuff from them. So I'm going to
Now,
be doing
just for
that for
my
the
own
next few.
edification, was I close? Was I accurate on this story?
Yeah, there's I mean more detail obviously, but yeah, that's the nut and bolts of it. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Uh, so I have a request to make before we finish. There is one of a raw 1797 $10 gold versus reverse. You have to do that one because it's like one of my favorite stories of the 5 years that I've worked there. But other than that, everything else is fair game. Let's look at some coins.
There's hey, vote for Pedro. Just saying, you know, hey, here you go. That he loves that thing. That's one of his dream coins. So which one are we looking at?
Oh,
1797 gold?
yeah, there's a raw 1797 gold, although there's that one. We could talk about that one. That's the coin
Is this the
there.
one or is that the other
That's
one?
the one. That's the
Okay,
one.
beauty. Let's talk about this piece.
All right, so let's see. Obverse. It's hard for me to tell with my angle if that was obverse or reverse. There you go, obverse. Okay, so one day I'm just kind of sitting there minding my own business, nothing going on, and in walks this lady, and she says, "I have a gold coin that I want to sell you." And I'm like, "Okay," and so she pulls it out, and my jaw just about hit the ground because this is a 1797 $10 gold. And this coin itself is about uncirculated. So for it to be about uncirculated is really, really rare. And this coin was passed down through her family. And she had a story about it in the whole 9 yards. And she wasn't really sure she wanted to get rid of it, but she thought she might. In other words, she knew it was valuable and she wanted to make sure that we weren't going to take it to the cleaners. My suggestion, because I took it back to, I had just been working at Berk probably a year. My suggestion was that I take it back to my CFO and I let him look. And then we had Mike Prince, our high end guy, come down and look. Both my CFO and Mike Prince undergraded the coin and really weren't sure about where to go with it. Russ looked at it and he said, "Oh, no, no, no. This coin's at least XF." And I'm like, "I know. So what do we do?" And then, so what we did was we went back out to the lady. We said, "Look, I think the only fair thing to do is to send the coin and have it authenticated and graded. Then we'll all know what we're dealing with. We can make an intelligent offer and you could be happy." And that's what we did. And so we sent it off to PCGS. Show the reverse for a minute. Because there's two 1797 10s. There's a small eagle and there's a large eagle. And there's actually pictures of both in
This
this.
is the large eagle, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, if you look at this coin is beautiful. It's pristine. And so you just don't see enough of these. You don't see very many of them. We sent it off. So it goes to PCGS. We get a phone call from Steve Feltner, who is the head of education for PCGS. He says, "Where did you guys get this coin?" And so, we told him the story. And they slabbed it. And they slabbed it AU 55. And we decided, okay, this is great. Now let's send it to CAC. We sent it to CAC. We got a phone call from John Albanese. John Albanese says, "Where'd you get this coin?" And we told him the story. And so John Albanese gave it a green bean. I will tell you that this coin now resides. It was in slab number 3 from CAC, and it now resides in, I think, slab number 10. But it grades AU 58.
Is that it? AU-58 or AU? This
AU
is prior.
58.
This is prior to the green bean, or is this the small? Yeah, this is prior to
Yeah, that's
it going
just
to
out of
10.
the book, 100 greatest coins. That's before it was bean.
So in this particular set, we're looking at a 80, 90, $100,000 coin.
No, it really was. It sold at auction for 40, or it didn't sell at auction. It sold to a bidder for 47,000, which I honestly thought was a little cheap. But I was confirmed by several people that that's pretty much where the market was.
Yeah, so Jack Riley, that's actually a really good piece of information for something like this. That if you see this and it doesn't have the little green on it, um,
And yes, Jack Riley, it is now in a CAC holder.
yeah. So
It's not
that's
even in a PCPS holder; it's in a CAC holder.
this is a really cool thing. You could take the markers from this particular coin, and see if people are putting it back into here because this as it sits right now no longer exists. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
And
So
I will tell you what, I mean, just to have a coin like that walk in raw was just, I mean, your jaw drops. You're like, huh? So this was my first big score at Harlan Burke. This was
Brian,
where I started to show them that I knew what I was doing.
Brian said this was one of the coins in the vault box, and they had it listed at 50 grand. Um, I haven't followed the vault box. I know that they had one of these in there, but
Yeah, I don't know.
that's cool though. Yeah, it's a phenomenal piece. And again, folks, the one thing that's cool about this is you guys know I don't work in a coin shop. And so a lot of the stuff that I do, the images that I pull, I reach out to folks and I say, Chuck basically has given me an open door to use any penny one, uh, as long as I, reference copper coins and let people know that's where it comes from. But a majority of these, I have to ask people for the use of their image, right? So because I don't have these. Mike and the people on the floor have taken these images and offered to share them, so that you guys can see these things. There's tons of great stories about this, and I just think it was a really cool opportunity to be able to go through and say, "Oh, here, check out this set of barbers, right? Proof 66, proof 64, proof 65. What happened with this set?"
Oh, wait a minute. No, pull that up. There you go. So literally, this walked in a week later. There was a lady who I'd been talking to for several weeks. She was really nervous. She was in kind of bad way because she was going to lose her house. She had her great grandfather's coin collection, and she'd never touched it. Her mom had never touched it, and it was in a backpack underneath her bed. And so she finally got to know me a little bit. She decided to bring the coins in. We took her into the back room. We said, "Hey, look, we'll go through all of it. We'll show you what you've got. We'll make an offer to buy it." Well, we start pulling coins out, and it's like these are coins. A lot of them are in envelopes. Some of them from Chapman, some of them from B Max Mel. Um, the quality of the coins is phenomenal.
You see,
So
yeah, slightly.
So, well, this story is even, the one with this is even better. But so the coins are phenomenal. Russ sees an envelope that says 1907 20, and you think it's going to be a 1907 Liberty. No, it's a wire edge. He's like, holy crap. So we sent that off to the side. All of a sudden, the lady looks at me. She goes, Mike, I'm really bored. I'm tired. Can you take care of this and just get back to me? We haven't been through it. We haven't inventoried it. Personally, I thought the lady was kind of nuts, but if you believe in God, then God guided her to somebody that wasn't going to, wasn't going to do her wrong, because we were just astounded by it. So as we're going through it, after she's gone, my CFO pulls the 95 Morgan out, and he says, "There's a 95 Morgan in here." And I'm like, "What?" And it's in a blue BMAX mail envelope, or in a blue envelope, and we're all both just looking at it. And it's like, it's definitely cameo on the obverse, heavily toned, but just missed cameo on the reverse. But I figure it's an 1895. It's got a shot. So we're like, "Oh, that's cool." And I'm like, "Well, hey, wait a minute." And I went back to this other thing of coins that I saw, because I had seen a proof Indian. And sure enough, it was an 1895 proof Indian. I'm like, okay, that's. And as we were going through stuff, in a bag of junk silver coins, I found the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the half to this set. Every single one of them ended up grading straight and CACing, so they weren't banged around, but they were just, And this set, this set, sold for over 180,000.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And this
I
was
saw
the
these. I was
week
just like,
after the
oh.
$10 did.
Yeah, I was looking at the quality of these, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, 64 proof, 65 proof. Like, holy.
The dollar ended up, it's the seventh finest known, and also no longer resides in this. I believe this set is now in CAC holders.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous piece. I love the stories
I mean,
behind this stuff, and you wonder how people come across these things and how they're picked up. Um, just absolutely fabulous. This is another fun one.
in a backpack under her bed. Yes, vote for Pedro.
Eric just gifted 5
Oh, anyway,
memberships.
so
Thanks,
the really
Eric.
great part of, you reminded me of the best part of this story. So, I called her and I said, "Okay." I said, "I've got news for you. I've got an idea." She's okay. I said, "How much did you say it was going to cost you before you lost your house?" And she said, "I need to raise 40 grand." And I said, "I think we got you covered." When I told her that we were paying her over $100,000, she literally cried.
Jesse, that is just a design issue. That has no value. Sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, the Encod we trust is just a design variety issue. It's not worth anything. Sorry. Let's go back to that other one. Yeah, you're welcome, Jesse. It's there's a lot of misinformation about that particular one out there. You'll hear people that it's a bad strike. It's just a poor choice in font, and you get anywhere on the die at all, and you just don't see that small little cut serif in the down mark, and it kind of blends in. You only see it on the design elements when you actually see the design itself, or on freshly struck. And I mean, like some of the first struck coins. But it's just a poor choice of font, and that basically is what happened there. All right, let's go back to this one. This is another one I like. The Standing Liberty Quarter, especially when it is in a shape like this. What about this 1928? Now, again, we're talking MS60 plus, so extremely high grade.
This is just a coin that I like Standing Liberty quarters. I think anytime you see a 66 quarter, that's very unusual and it's something you should take a look at. This was a 66 plus. I mean, it was just phenomenal. There's very few marks. The strike is nearly complete, if not absolutely complete. It doesn't have a full head, I don't think.
Yeah, it's listed
But
as full head.
oh, it is full head.
Uh,
Okay, so it has an absolutely complete strike, and it's in this kind of shape. Most of the Standing Liberty quarters that I see have not only just some wear; they're culled.
I sent a really nice counterfeit of this coin to Jack Young for review. Uh, Counterfeit was pretty good. There were issues with the coin. It was pure counterfeit. It was made to deceive, um, and he picked up on it very quickly. But yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. And like the barbers, SLQs, they they just they look good when they're brand new. They look good when they're in this condition, but they are some of the ugliest call coins. I just
You
can't
know,
stand SLQs that are worn down. And barbers,
I
they
will
just
not
stay
let you
horrible.
beat on my woman like that. It's not gonna happen. It's like Standing Liberty quarters are a beautiful design, and maybe a little too intricate for some tastes, but it, barbers, you got it. I'll give you that. But no, you leave Seat of Liberty out of your mouth, or Standing Liberty.
Yeah, that's and again, I love the design.
Oh, I can't
Um,
hear now. Great.
we can hear you.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a hard time hearing you. It's my phone. Hold
No,
on a
I got
second. Let
you.
me get my headphones out.
So Luther asks a really good question. How can you be a half a grade higher? It's either one or the other. Distinct factors separate the grade. You want to answer that, or you want me to?
Okay, now I can hear you. What was the
Um,
question?
so Luther says, how can you be a half a grade higher? Either one or the other. Distinct factors separate the grades.
Okay, this is a grading service thing. Something that people have to understand about the grading services. They are not really grading coins. They're valuing coins. And because they're valuing coins, that makes it a different thing. Um, a 66 plus coin is one that they really felt was so close to 67, but for one reason or another, just couldn't give it to them. So they feel that it's worth more than a 66 coin, but it's not a 67.
And some of this may have to do with maybe the exceptional luster, right? Maybe there's something on it, like you see these little chatter marks over here. Maybe that's the thing that kept it from 7. But the exceptional luster, the exceptional strike was like, man, we've got to give it the plus. And so it is very objective. Ooh, man. Um,
Well, I will tell you with this coin is a perfect example of they were going between giving it a 7 or a 6 full head, and they gave it a 6 plus full head.
yeah.
That's what the choice was. That's what it usually comes down to. But again, they're valuing coins, and that's what a lot of people have a hard time with. They just don't understand that.
Oh, and this is my favorite bill ever. This is from
Cool.
the educational series. This is, in my
Yes, that's
opinion,
why I made sure it was in there.
it is the most beautiful bill. I think the design elements are clear. The colors used, the color schemes that were used. This educational series is by far my favorite for note set. There was supposed to be a lot more than that, but
The
they
whole
ended up,
set is beautiful.
yeah, they were supposed to be more than four, but this is the $2 one. You want to tell us about this one crossing your desk?
So I just happened to buy the currency at Harlan Burke, and so I had a collection present itself, and there were literally three sets of educational notes, not three complete sets. It was two complete sets and one partial set, and I, this was I just thought something that I wanted to photograph for posterity because I think that they're awesome, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to move the funds that way to put one in my collection. I've got too many other things going on.
Yeah, there's the two, the five, the one, two, $5. And there were supposed to be a lot more, but after the five, there were some issues with the
Yeah,
$5 and quote unquote indecency that kept that from continuing the hobby. And if you look at the general time frames, we see this again in other coinage. The capped bust, the draped bust, um, flowing hair was even considered inappropriate at one time because her hair was down; it was unruly. Um, and again, in this one, not this particular one, um, the sparked a little bit because the girl's top is pulled down to one side. It's hidden. You can't really see anything. There's no definition. But in the $5 one, it's actually a lot more clear. And so that one raised public outcry, and they ended up killing the series, which is sad because, like I said, out of all of the notes, if I was to collect anything and I had the money to buy whatever it was, this is a set that I would definitely buy. So when I stumbled across this one in that, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, definitely want to talk about this." What's up, Stan? Good to see you. Good morning. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. What would something like this
yeah,
set you
nice
back?
VF note. Honestly, I don't know. I off the top of my head, the educational notes run a couple of $100. They're affordable. A lot of it depends on condition. Oh, back to I bought three, well, two and a half sets to or Harlan took a set. Literally just took one. And then he didn't take the best one. So I was able to sell the best one. Harlan kept the middle one, and we sold the other notes.
Oh, the joys of a coin shop owner. But again,
You know what? It's his name on the door.
yeah, well, but
He is
again,
the
you can't
emperor.
do that with every coin because you'll end up collecting yourself out of business. So if he collects something like that, he knows the value of it. He knows its worth. It's an educated assessment. And as Eric says,
It's a
it's good to be
widget.
the king.
Yeah, it's a widget, and he'll play with it for a while, and then he'll get bored of it, and he'll sell it off, and he has a really, really nice set of Civil War tokens,
Yeah. And here's the
and
reverse.
he has entrusted me with them. It's the only one I didn't rotate. I'm sorry.
I should be able to rotate it, but that's a very common picture. Um, let's go. There was another one that I want to show. This is one of the original screw presses. That's pretty cool. That's actually it. Is that the Denver Mint or is that Philadelphia?
That is the original screw press.
That would be
That's from Philly.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
That is the original screw press from the Philadelphia Mint. And I went to Philadelphia. Well, I went to New Jersey to visit my daughter. And when I went there, um, when I went there, we went to the Philadelphia Mint on a day trip. We just decided it was something that we wanted to do when we went. And the mint was shut down for
You still there? No, we might have lost him. He might have lost. We'll give him a minute for him to come back. Yeah, I think he just dropped off. He'll be back in just a minute. We'll get notification of him coming back in. This one is the one that I shared in the very beginning, or actually on the thumbnail. And the reason I wanted to show this is a Proof 68 decam, and there's something about the reverse of this that is phenomenal. How many of you guys like toning? You guys like your toned coins? Yeah, so check this out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at the toning on that baby. Isn't that freaking amazing? Now, this coin, again, you can find the Olympic coins. You can find them. Ooh. So, folks, if I suddenly disappear, we have a massive storm right now. We got lightning and thunder, and the house is shaking. So, if I disappear, it's because we've lost power. But I shared this one on the thumbnail. But man, the coloration on this is fabulous. This is all natural toning, but man, this is beautiful, beautiful piece. I'm not a huge fan of toning, but on that eagle, Eric, have you ever seen pictures of Yosemite, El Capitan, when they do the falls, and you get what they call the fire falls?
Yes.
You know, oh, my phone died. Okay, yeah, no worries, bud. This reminds me of the colors you would see when you have that.
Depends on how the sun hits it.
Yeah, yep. And folks, that is one of the most beautiful things that you see is Yosemite, and that fire falls when the sun hits that just right, and it turns that waterfall into just beautiful colors. This is absolutely phenomenal toning. The coin itself is you can find these, and they're not overly expensive. Lava Falls, there you go. But this is the coloration on this, and again, this one made the thumbnail. I was like, ooh, this will draw a couple people in that like this stuff. Now Mike's phone died, so obviously he can be talking about stuff in chat.
He's running to the computer, probably.
Yeah, hopefully he can get back in and come back up. But there have been some amazing pieces in here, like this error note. You guys like Bill's errors? I mean, some of this stuff, and this is a pretty good grade. This is graded 64 choice. A lot of, I mean, just amazing stuff. And again, when you're talking about who Mike is, Mike works the floor. Harlan J Berk. If for those people who don't know who that is, Harlan J Berk is the oldest still operating coin shop in the U.S. and they have seen and had stuff pass through that most of us will never see in our lifetime. We might hear stories about it. We might hear about an article, or we might see something in Coin Week. Jack Young, Jack Riley may report on a counterfeit version of one of these things, so we may see some originals in one of their stories. But these folks get to actually deal with this kind of stuff on the regular. This is something that is it's something that, you know, when you operate a high level shop like this, you get to see some amazing things. And you know, they have stuff for everybody. So I'm going to throw in, I don't know, Eric, you're on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Mike's back.
I'm back.
All right.
Can you throw in Harlan J Berk's link?
And they got some amazing coins just in their online inventory.
Yep.
I was browsing earlier.
And while we're on this little break, I'm going to tell everybody, shameless plug. Coin Show podcast returns tonight. That's on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and wherever else you get your live podcasts.
Do you know what the subject is tonight? Or is it just flies on the fly?
Well, no, I mean it's a Coin Show podcast, so it's like typically what we do is we always have the news in the world of coins. We're going to probably talk about what happened over the course of our summers. We'll talk some crap with each other and kind of set the agenda for the fall going forward. Tell everybody about the fact that we'll be in Baltimore, things like that.
All right. You going to do who's got the best piece?
Oh, you mean coolest thing?
Yeah.
I don't know if Matt's going to bring one or not. I will tell you that that it's a staple. I mean, I have this library of coins, and if he does, I can bring it. If you look at the score this year, I'm really beating him badly.
But both of you have some amazing things come through.
That's absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, I look at, and again, I watch a lot of Aaron shorts. I see a lot of the stuff that comes through, and he's like, oh, by the way, yeah, check out the sarcophagi, right? The piece from the sarcophagi.
Well,
and
why
I'm
don't
like,
you show it to him?
Whoa, holy smokes. Oh, you want me to show that? I can do this. And again,
watching those back to back to back to back, they can start getting overwhelming. You got to take it in like 2 or 3 episode doses.
Well, I mean, come on. I wouldn't recommend binge listening to anything.
And start watching from episode 1, which is not the first episode in line when you go to Aaron Berk's channel. It's the second. 2 and 1 somehow got backwards.
Well, it's because we started it on the website and we uploaded 2 first.
Yeah.
And when he set it up, the date that he set it up, you can change it. You can actually change the order of it, but
I just wanted to put a note because the first episode is great. It gives a lot of insight into what you do and where you do it and how you do it and everything.
So this is Aaron Berk. And you can see this is the sarcophagi piece here. And he talks about it and shows what would normally happen. You have the little face down here, and normally you would have the conversation piece, and you can see the other conversation here. And this piece, who knows how much this thing sells for? It's got to be quite expensive. And he's just sitting here going, yeah, it's pretty cool. Check this out. Look at the back. You can see that the back's not done. And he's like, you can see that it's here and it's pretty thick. And yeah, this would be the inside of the sarcophagi. And, it's pretty cool stuff. Hey, come over and check out.
Okay, so
like,
there's another
wow.
picture. There's another picture in there of an Egyptian sarcophagus. Share that with.
Which one?
There's one of an Egyptian sarcophagus in there.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to find. Hold on, just.
No, not in there. I'm talking about in the folder I gave you.
Oh, in the folder you gave me. Hold on, just.
Now, you guys do antiquities in the store then also, or?
Well, okay, so Harlan Berk is one of the world's foremost experts on antiques or on antiquities and ancient coins. Aaron is actually even more so. So yes, that's our main line.
Gotcha.
U.S. coins is just, it started out as a sideline, right? And then we hired some really impressive people, Tom Delory and Dennis Ford. And they made a name for that place, and then it got a reputation. And so it had kind of gotten kicked around a little bit until me and Russ got there. And there's your sarcophagus.
They
I did
have some
not
cool
share the
stuff,
picture.
man. I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing. If you
I
ever
did
get
not
the
share the
chance,
picture with you of us dragging that through the streets of Chicago.
You know what? The people looking at you must have looked and went, "Oh my god!"
I was taking pictures and video, looking for those reactions, and did not get them. Nobody looked. it was weird. It's like, well, it's Chicago, but
Yeah, they were looking. It was just side eye.
we had a moving blanket on it, so it looked like it really did look like a coffin or a body or something. It was funny. And I have a picture of Aaron just with it on a cart, walking up the alley with it, because we had to move it from his lawyer's office to the HJB World Headquarters.
So I am adding his YouTube link here. Again, this is, if you're interested in ancients, this is definitely something. Go check him out. Make sure you subscribe. And do me a favor, in the comments, let him know that Frosty and Mike sent you, right? Let him know that they, hey, just heard about your channel from Frosty and Mike and wanted to do that. Because again, I absolutely support Aaron's work. He's actually been on the channel once. I want to get him back on again. But this dude is a wealth of knowledge. And his sister and his dad, man, I'm telling you, the three of them together, the wealth of knowledge that they bring to this is just unreal. And so make sure you get over and check that out. And I'm also going to pull up the other one,
Coin Show podcast.
the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's been too long since I got to watch one.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. And I mean, we've been doing a Coin Show podcast now this over 15 years. And every year in the summer, for one reason or another, we ended up taking time off. And it just became a thing with us. So Matt has 3 boys. And he wants to spend summertime with his boys. And I
Sure.
personally, I couldn't celebrate that more. What we do is important, but at the end of the day, it's just stuff. Family is way more important. And so he goes and he spends time with his kids. And I celebrate the man's entire catalog.
Yeah. And way too many people say, "Oh, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year." And then all of a sudden the kids are gone.
Yeah. Well, until
fast.
they're not. Until they're not. I have 3 adult children that live at home right now, but that's beside the point.
Hey, scrap metal racing. No worries. We're just kind of going through some different things here, but yeah, it's fabulous. This is another piece that I want you to talk about. This is a fun piece right here. Tell us a little bit about this flowing.
Okay, so this one is a dime. Yep, this one is this is a half dime. This is 1794 flowing hair half dime. To be honest with you, I had never seen a flowing hair half dime when I took this picture. This one is PCGS certified as fine 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this one's got 14 stars on it, which I always think is really cool. Because in the early mid days they were adding stars for each and it's got the small eagle reverse on it. These things are really, really rare. I mean, they are really rare. If you zoom out a little bit, it's probably got the price ticket on it. It does. But
72,888.
No. That's our inventory number.
Okay.
But I can tell you that from looking at the thing, it's probably a $1,200 coin.
Nice. I know you've got I love that piece. There's another one in here.
Amazing.
There is here we go. Now, this is
I love stuff like that.
This is cool. I would love something like this. But you're definitely going to be paying for something like this.
So do you remember me telling you about the deal with the lady with the backpack?
I was wondering, yes.
This came from that deal.
Wow.
So this was the 20 that that Russ pulled out, and it's a high relief wire edge. We figured it was just gonna be a regular Saint or a lid, and it's a U55, so it's been moved around a little bit, and so we sold it with the original BMAX Mel envelope, and if you scroll down just a touch, it has the lot number on it, and it has, if I'm not mistaken, the date. So you can go and you can actually look this up, and you can look at the original auction catalog on Newman Numismatic Portal.
May 25th, 1915, sold out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep, and it was lot number 2068. It
Unreal.
sold for $25.
Well, that and you
Nice.
have Max Mel. Max Mel was
That's what I would love to have, one of those envelopes.
Yep. That's the Max Mel. You see because again, when you were talking about coins back in that time frame, you have to remember there just weren't a bunch of coin shops you could just walk into. Most of these things were done by mail order, right? So you would get your catalog, you would document what it is, you would send your information along with your payment to the person. They would get the coin, they would send it back to you, they would ship it back to you with all appropriate documentation. And so, one, having the coin is amazing, but having all the supporting documentation with really cool. We talk about provenance a lot with coins and ancients. This is one of those things where that little certificate there really adds a lot to the story. And it's just fabulous pieces. I would have loved to have been able to been there and see that backpack. That would have been quite the amazing haul.
It was an experience of a lifetime.
And it makes you wonder why they were in a backpack. Was it just that she had thrown those in there? Or did
No, I think either her mother or her grandmother might have.
They had no interest in this stuff. They probably just thought it was coins.
Well, they knew it was valuable, and okay. So, like, I live in Chicago. One of the things you learn when you live in a city where there's possibilities of, more possibility of crime, is you disguise things. So, like, if you ever want to put a safe in your house and put it someplace where nobody's ever going to look, put it in your laundry room.
Or in the litter box.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm being serious. You can put it in your laundry room, and the statistics bear it out that the amount of time that a burglar will spend in your house will not necessitate them going to the laundry room, and
Yeah,
they're not going
makes
there.
sense.
So, you learn how to disguise things. That's just kind of the thing, and I think that's what this was.
that makes sense? It's a pretty logical
Camouflage.
yeah, yeah. But that is pretty neat stuff. Well, Mike, you were absolutely right. We didn't get through half of the coins.
Oh God, no.
But folks, if you thought this was cool, you definitely want to be here tomorrow. Hey, Frank, by the way, you're talking about freezer in the ice, people putting uh, gemstones in the freezers or putting money in the freezer. Do you know why the numismatist put all of his gold there? He liked cold hard cash.
That's right.
I know. Stupid jokes. Y'all have heard that. But tomorrow, Mike's going to be back, but Mike's bringing a friend. You guys probably know this guy. This is Russ Bega. Russ Bega, for the ladies, he's easy to look at. A lot of ladies like this guy. But not only is he good looking, he's a good dude. And I'm really happy that he's going to be on the panel. Tomorrow, however, you probably won't be hearing anything from me. I'm going to be monitoring chat, and I'm going to let these these two gentlemen, um,
It's a
take
hostile takeover.
yeah, it's a takeover. They're going to take the panel. They're going to run, and I think you guys will really enjoy this. Again, this is an amazing team of people, and I think you guys will enjoy this. So I'm really looking forward to this. Um, Me says, hold on, my mortgage company is calling me back. I think he's talking about looking at this particular coin. Um, yeah, so there's going to be a lot of fun information. Again, tonight, Coin Show podcast, the link is in there. Matter of fact, let me. Um,
And while you're doing that, I will say, look, the one thing that I think describes me is enthusiasm. I have a lot of enthusiasm for this hobby, and I just love to share it. And I like teaching, and it's just something that I've been given the opportunity very late in life to share. And so I am doing literally everything I could possibly do to put as much as I possibly can out there and to try and just, help people figure out that there are good reasons to do this. There are really good people in this business, and not everybody is a charlatan, but there's a large number of them out there.
yeah, and again, folks, we have Jack Riley and Jack Young constantly talking about counterfeits, but there's more to that. There's a lot of people that will deceive you just to sell you stuff. So it's important that you have a good network of people, and I appreciate all Mike has done. Um, Mike reached out to me one time. We talked to him. I said, "Hey, I'd like to have you on the show one time," and he's like, I like the direction you guys go in. It's about community protection, and honestly, it doesn't matter who's on panel. If you're on my panel, most likely your job is to I educate or you enjoy educating. Because what we're here for is to teach you and show you one, stuff like this, beautiful coins, but there's so much mis and disinformation out there. It's just really to get you the best information. So, Mike, first off, again, thank you for all you guys do. Huge shout out to Harlan J Berk. You have a question? Are you guys going on the same time as normal?
8:30.
Whatever time you guys normally go on?
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
no, no. We're gonna go on regular time. It's your show, but we're gonna take it over.
No, 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 no. Coin Show podcast, brother. Coin Show
Oh, Coin
podcast.
Show podcast. Tonight, yes, 7, well, 8 Eastern,
8.
Central.
Okay. So there you go, Frank. Yeah, he was just wanting to make sure he's going to probably go look at it and
Eight
schedule some
Eastern,
time to
7
turn that
Central.
on.
Here's what I'll tell you: is every other week we publish a Coin Show podcast. That's why the numbers don't go up very, very fast. But every other week we also publish a show, but it's just more get together, talk, ask questions kind of thing, because it's like I don't believe in prepackaged stuff. And because of the nature of what we want to do as a Coin Show podcast and trying to make it evergreen, um, we do the news and things like that, but it just gives us a little bit more variety of what to do. And as always, the coolest things that walked into our shops,
Yeah, and
which
that
was
is
kind of the genesis of this whole thing. I started taking these pictures so I could kick Dinger's ass when it came to, because it originally started out as the coolest thing that walked into Matt's shop. I was a collector. I wasn't even working at a shop. It was the coolest thing that walked into Matt's shop. Well, and Matt has a lot to do with me getting the job at Harlan Burke. So when I started working there, I was like, okay, let's do the coolest thing that walked into our shops. And he's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you're there tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific,
No,
uh,
7 Central, 8
7
Eastern,
8 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Um I messed that up. That was my bad, sorry. But go check that out.
5 Pacific.
I've pinned the link to the Coin Show podcast. Make sure you go over, subscribe. And then again, when you go in, make sure you tell them Frosty sent. That way they know where you heard from. I want them to, and Mike is here. He knows
Yeah.
how much I support that channel and how much I definitely appreciate it. We need to get Matt up here one time though.
I'm trying. It's getting him out of bed. Well, first off, he works on Saturday, so that's always out. And then Sunday and Monday are his days off.
And he's
So
Pacific, so we're talking about early morning.
yeah, no, he's not Pacific. He's Eastern. He's in Indianapolis.
Why was I thinking he was in Washington?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. He's in Indy. Maybe that's why I can never find his coin shop.
Yeah, it's Indie Coin Dealer.
I'm in the wrong state.
That's who he is on eBay.
Indie Coin Dealer?
Yeah, that's his eBay shop.
Come again. Sorry, that was not appropriate. Sorry, I apologize for that.
It was still funny, but it was no.
All right, folks. Well, hey, Tiger Stacker's dropping a video right now, so go over and check out Tiger Stacker. Let him know that Frosty sent you. Mike and Eric, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out today. Go check out the Coin Show podcast tonight, and tomorrow, Russ Burke and Mike take over Frostbyte Coins. So make sure you guys hit your notification bell. All right, folks. Love you guys. Be well, be blessed, and we'll see you in the streams.